I was thinking the other day, do I actually know any devil man? Like 6 feet tall, six-figure job, and six pack of abs. And then I was going through, my Rolodex of memories, and I was like, oh my goodness, yes, like I do know a devil man, a high value man, like a 10 man, and not a TIN man, but a TEN man. Although realistically, he is kind of both. Um, but so, like, for a small amount of context, both of us were, um, I guess you could say expats. Like, both of us were in a South American country that neither of us are from. And I was seeking to move there permanently. And I believe that he did move there permanently. I haven't spoken to him in a year or two, but the last I checked, he was rather happy and still living there. But we became friends and like we hit it off. And so we started hanging out a lot and we started partying a lot. And at the time, like there was a lot of places to party, and there were a lot of ladies that were also partying as well. And since I am under 6 feet and I'm black in a South American country, to most girls, I didn't even show up on their radar. And so it gave me the opportunity to kind of just sit back and watch how he interacted with them. And let me tell you, he basically was allowed to do whatever he wanted to, whenever he wanted to, because he was tall, white, and pretty. Like, I can't be more frank. I couldn't be more frank if my name was Frank. Like, he was able to do whatever he wanted to. Like, we could be outside of a club just talking. And he could be like, you know what? I want to go find an after party. And she and her friends would be like, oh my goodness, that sounds like a great idea. Where is it? And I'm standing here like, he just presented an idea. Like, he didn't even say definitively, I'm going to an after party. He says, an after party sounds fun. Like, it just like slaps me in the face. Like, I mean, dude's definitely a Chad, but he's a legitimately good guy. And he knows 100% that he has an unfair advantage. Like, we had this conversation where he was like, hey, talking to me, he was like, you're literally more intelligent and more talented than I am. But because I'm white, tall, and I have money, I get more girls than you do. And I was like, yep, that's the reality of the matter. And he kind of just like shrugged it off and kept on going. He's like, hey, like, if that's how life has to be, if this advantage is that unfair, I might as well just take advantage of it. And many of our nights would end up just like back at his apartment, kind of just talking about the desperation, like the levels of desperation of the ladies that he was interacting with. And like seldom would we ever be talking about my interactions because I basically had none. Like on the I believe in the times that we hung out, there were two women, two total, probably of the hundreds that we met, whom saw him, saw me, and then decided to gravitate towards me. Like, the number is quite staggering. Like, I would say honestly less than 1% of women that I interacted with gravitated towards me. And when they did, I ate that stuff up. Like, I was like, yes, yes, gimme, 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 because I'm not sure when I'm gonna get this again. And he's all looking at me like, bro, why does like what? You look like you're actually having fun. And I'm like, yeah, because I found someone who actually wants me. Just not just the concept of me, who like actually saw me as a person, who actually, read my mannerisms and looked at me and was like, you know what? That guy might be tall. He might have money. He might be really attractive, but that guy's got personality. Like that guy's got swag. Like that guy's got just a thing about him that I want to know. I want to know why he is like that. And I'm like, "Hi, yes, come on over. Let's have us a relationship. Let's be happy. Let's do this thing and let's see it until its fruition. Like let's not walk into the situation and say, "Oh, well, I'm looking for marriage. You got to be." No. Like let's just be ourselves and let's just do this in a way that's authentic for the both of us. And he I believe he had one semi authentic relationship, but realistically, he knew that every girl who was after him because of his status. Like he was a bit of a minor celebrity because a dude who's like 6'3", that good looking in South America is kind of a rare thing. So he's like everywhere that we went, even if a girl didn't know his name, she knew who he was. And like I was his plus one everywhere. There was this one night where we were at the VIP of like one of the most expensive clubs in the city, um, to which I was literally complaining at him the entire time because I believe it was like $20 to get in and then $50 to get into VIP. And then like he paid it because he's rich, he doesn't care. But I'm like, bro, is this really what you use your money for? Like, you can't just like go somewhere else and do something else. Like, we have to go to this place and be in the VIP just so other people look at us, look have to look up at us and say, "Oh my goodness, I wish I was in VIP." Speaking of relations, I'm at a party, well, at a house party that's being hosted by my high value friend. And it's like me, him, of course, like four dudes that he's only met once while partying, and then all of the girls that they managed to bring, as well as a few other random girls that he met when he was out partying. And this party is like it's pretty lit. Like I'm not gonna lie, like there's lots of drinks and other substances going around, and so like I round about the middle of the party, I kind of look at the demographics and I'm like, yeah, there's there's not much play here for me, so I'm just gonna kind of turn off like my trying to find a lady mode and I'm just gonna chill out for the rest of this party. And so like that's what I was doing, having my drinks, doing my stuff, and like it's getting late and the party's like kind of winding down and I'm kind of just like getting tired of interacting with people. And there's like a dude who's already passed out on the couch. And so I just like find a nice little comfy piece of floor near the couch, lay back, put my head behind my hands behind my head. And I'm just literally just thinking and meditating and listening to the background music. Like I am in a pretty blissful little place. Like I was rather happy. And then I get shooken awake all of a sudden. Not awake because I wasn't asleep, but I get shooken out of my pleasant stupor. And one of the girls is like looking at me and she's kind of distressed. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? What's up? And she's like, your friend is sleeping with my friend. And I'm like, oh, okay. So what? She's like, well, I just need to be there for her. Can you open the door? And I'm like, Um, that's the weirdest thing anyone has ever asked me to do, but I guess if you're kind of distressed, I'll go and knock on the door and I'll just see what I can do. So I go over the door and I knock a few times. And of course I get no answer. And knock again, get no answer. And then I'm like, hey, dude, it's me. Like, girl out here is kind of tripping. Like, she just wants to make sure her friend is safe. And like, I give it a little bit. And then he opens the door, like, just in his boxers. And he's like, wait, seriously? And I'm like, yeah, like she's like straight up tripping because she just wants to make sure that she's okay. And it's at this moment, like when the door is cracked, that girl who's outside, her friend, busts through the door and jumps into the bed with her friend. And me and dude are looking at each other like, what what just happened? Like, is it is it is it are we are we are we about to have a threesome right now or a foursome, I guess? And like, so me and him look at each other and we're like, I guess let's just go with the flow. And like, instead of it being a foursome, it ended up like me and her friend just kind of like awkwardly watched them having drunk intercourse. And I'm like, man, I really wish I was still on the floor outside. Like, there's no part of this that is a required part of my being. And, like, it turns out that dude was so far gone that he didn't recall ever like answering the door or having our conversation. So like in his mind, he had just been having intercourse in his bed the whole time. But there were two people just like standing there and watching him. And I think that her friend was also the same. Like, yeah, be careful with, the illicit substances you do and who you do them with, I guess.